What would happen if I got off the video? Like, what if I dropped my video? So it wouldn't replace it with your video? Oh, oh, then 'cause I don't need to be on video. Shoot.
They said they can't hear us. They said there's no audio, just FYI. Oh, apparently they can hear me, but not you. Hey! Oh my gosh, I don't know what to entertain people with. I mean, I guess I in the chat, like, how are people feeling with the latest builds? I know we've addressed a lot of the feedback of issues from previous builds with the latest ones and, giving you a lot of new stuff to poke at. Uh, some quests are up in the bug bash. I'm really pumped about how things are looking, but oh, that's fine. I'm reading all the comments. I feel like I'm reading the comments on like a 1 minute delay. So, um, it's funny, like preparing for this meeting, I was using the new ability to connect and disconnect Bluetooth devices right from the taskbar, and I love it. I I've wanted that for so long, especially like it has battery level, which means now I can see that my battery only has 1%. I need to plug in. But it's just really handy. I know like uh the in Windows 10, the cast and audio are you can I stop being the Jen show? Okay, okay. Well, we had so stop trying to fill the space. We have two guests for this particular webcast. I'm I'm sure you know the usual crowd, Jason, who is trying to fix his audio, and Brandon, who is working on his computer and here in spirit. But today's guests for the webcast are Adam Wayment, who has been I've worked with for a really long time, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Adam. I'm assuming everyone can hear you.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Assuming you can hear me. I'm a program manager here at Microsoft. I'm working on the accessibility and AI team, and I'm here to talk about some accessibility features. I've been working on Windows for many years, and happy to be having conversation directly with you all.
I can't even remember when we first worked together, Adam. Was it on speech,
Yeah, it's
like way
probably
back when?
Cortana way back when, probably.
Yeah. And the other person we have here to represent their work is Alexis. If you want to quickly talk about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Alexis. I also work on the Windows accessibility team with Adam. And since I started, I've been specifically focusing in the neurodiverse space. So just making the PC easier to use for those who are neurodiverse. And it's been really exciting to get to know the team and work this past year. And I always love chatting with customers, so really excited to get some feedback and share what we've been working on with all of you.
I actually used your feature coming into this meeting. I was getting a bunch of notifications, and I was like, "Stop!" Um,
I'm using
so
it right now.
yeah, yeah. Jason, do you want us? I mean, should we just continue forward, or Jason is thinking really intensely?
Your guest hosting. Take it away.
I wasn't given a script. This is live. This is a real live webcast. This is not pre-recorded. So I'm not sure, Alexis or Adam, if you want to just get started with your demoing, and I
Sure.
assume Jason will work magic behind the scenes.
Yeah, I can go ahead and just share my screen, Jason, if that works.
Yes, says Jason.
Great. All right.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Correct.
It
Now
sounds
they
like we're
don't know who
talking
we're
to
talking to, Jason.
ourselves. Yeah, yeah.
Take it away,
Cool.
Alexis. Let's do it.
Awesome. So as I mentioned, I've been, working with people who are neurodiverse, but really what we've built with this new focus and do not disturb experience is for anyone who hates being distracted and wants to be more productive on their PC. With hybrid work, we've seen such a big increase in number of notifications that you get on a daily basis. Just looking at your phone and computer all day. And so we just wanted to make it a bit easier to be more productive with Windows. So just to put into perspective kind of how distracting a notification or anything coming through can be, that on average happens to an office worker every 3 minutes. And once that happens, it takes on average 23 minutes to get back into whatever you were doing. So you can do the math. It's a lot of time spent distracted every day. And then when we were going through to build these two features, we talked to a lot of customers, did a lot of research. So I just wanted to pull out a few of the main points that we had found. So this first one being, obviously distractions and alerts from notifications make it hard to maintain focus. But our users also were really nervous about missing important notifications. So we saw that there was kind of a fear of turning on some kind of, do not disturb setting um, because of what they might miss. And then it's also very difficult to remain focused when the taskbar is flashing. So I'm not sure this will show in the demo later on, but if some of you are familiar with it's either like a red or orange flashing in your taskbar. If you use Teams, Outlook, any other app that needs your attention, it'll flash this really annoying red or orange just to steal your attention. And then many users don't know how to control their notifications, or in Windows 10, we have this thing called Focus Assist, so it was just a bit confusing, and we found that users wanted a lot more granular control over their notifications, and so this is just a bit of what we kept in mind while designing Do Not Disturb. And then on the productivity side, so thinking more about this new focus feature, and this IW, this is referring to information workers. Realize that's not maybe a universal acronym. And so talking to a lot of information workers, we learned that, everyone's pretty task-oriented definition of productivity. There is the consensus, good time management and focus is required for productivity. A lot of information workers like to use a timer, whether that be a phone timer, a Pomodoro timer on a website, just something to kind of keep them on track throughout the day. And then a lot of people just wanted help tracking their productivity. And so with all that in mind, this is a little preview of the new focus feature that can be found in Windows Insider. So this is what it looks like on the left side of your screen in Windows settings. If you were to search for focus, this is the settings page that you would find. And here you are able to actually start a focus session for your desired duration. You can see you can kind of change the duration here. And then these following checkboxes, these are the settings that are by default on, but at any time you can come in here and uncheck or check these settings. And so just to go through them briefly, show the timer in the clock app. So the clock app actually designs focus sessions, and so on can you see my mouse, Jason or Adam, when I'm circling things? Okay, cool. So this little focus timer right here, this is what is referring to the timer in the clock app. So when you start a focus session, this little timer will pop up on screen. And then hide your badges on taskbar apps. So you can kind of see the before and after photos here. So it'll just hide these anxiety-inducing numbers on your apps. So to just be a bit less distracting with how many notifications you have. And then, like I mentioned, it's going to hide the flashing on your taskbar apps. Also shows the before and after here of, this scary red to no more scary red when you start your focus session. And then focus will also turn on Do Not Disturb, which we'll look at in the demo as well. So this was, just an overview of what kind of happens when you start the focus session. We are going to see this live in the demo. So this is actually the demo video. I'm going to try and play this. Jason, just stop me if it's not going to work. And sorry, I'll just kind of talk over it as well because there's no audio in this one. So you see some notifications coming through. And then if you go to the bottom right, in the notification center, this is where you're going to turn Do Not Disturb on and off. I'll just pause this quickly so you can see what it looks like when it's on. Kind of notifies you that it's on, and then all of your notifications that you aren't receiving the banner for will show right here in the notification center. And then you can see in the bottom right-hand corner the little bell to signify that you do have Do Not Disturb on. Now we're just looking at the busy taskbar, and then you can also have this. So what we looked at was focus in Windows settings, and now you see this really convenient entry point to focus that you can turn on straight from your notification center. So right here, we're just setting the time and then press Start Focus. Oops. And then you see that this focus timer for the time that you set, so in this case it was an hour, shows up on screen. And then you can see that the taskbar is calmed down, no more flashing or badges, and then Do Not Disturb has also turned on. I'm just gonna skip to this slide really quick. Cool. So yeah, you saw it in action. Those are the two easiest ways to turn on Do Not Disturb and Focus, again, from the Notification Center. But I did just want to show briefly what Do Not Disturb looks like in system settings. So system settings and notifications, this is where you can find the Do Not Disturb setting. And it actually has some automatic rules that you can turn on so that Do Not Disturb automatically turns on in certain cases. And then you can also set priority notifications that will break through even when you have Do Not Disturb on. So you set that list no matter how Do Not Disturb is turned on, whether it's focus or separately, those notifications will break through.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of that is like the snipping tool notifications, where I find it useful to always have snipping tool notifications, even if I have priority mode
Mhm.
Do Not Disturb on, because I took a screenshot. I want to see that I took it.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and that's kind of notifies you if you like copy or whatever. Yeah, and then this is just an example, or this is what the automatic rules look like. So you can specify during what times. I usually keep this on for after my work hours, so I kind of like this. Yeah, this is what mine looks like. And so I just don't receive notifications during those times. And then I also just keep all of these on as well. So right now I'm presenting my screen. I can see that Do Not Disturb has automatically turned on, so I'm not going to receive any notifications that are going to surprise me while I'm presenting. Cool. And this, so that little focus timer that we saw, if you expand that, this is what the full clock app view looks like. So you can see that this is not in an active focus session, but what you'll see is you can actually log into your Spotify account, and then once you log in, this is what it'll look like. It'll have kind of your top playlist as well as some recommended focus music. And so you can play that during your focus sessions. We have it integrated with Microsoft To-Do list, so you can keep your to-do list here. I personally keep my flagged emails right here because that's what I have the most trouble keeping track of, and so I usually use focus time to go through those. And then it also allows you to track daily focus progress.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been super helpful for me, and talking to users. We have a few of these stories as well. I just wanted to kind of share like how these features help in different ways. And so this first example being my weakness is finishing emails that I start. I turn on focus, so I have a timer on screen and limit myself to that duration to finish my emails, reduces distractions, and helps me time box my work. This is me. This is my quote. This is totally what I use focus for daily. And so that timer on screen really just gives me kind of like a fake deadline. So I reduce procrastination doing something that I don't love to do. Um, and then this next user is actually a writer outside their day job. And so they like to use focus when it's time to write. And to kind of help clean up their desktop, they close out all of their applications and then just use focus to block out notifications. They actually don't prefer to see the timer the entire time, so this person minimizes it. But you can always pull it back up and check, when you need a break or you just want to. This person, when they change the music, is when they take the time to see. But you don't have to have the timer on screen the whole time. Some people like that, some people don't. It's just that's example. And then kind of this last story being someone that uses the focus setting as a reminder to take time to myself every day. Seeing it in the notification center reminds me to turn off distractions for at least an hour every day. Sometimes I do heads down work, other times I just use it to collect myself between meetings. So again, just an example of different use cases. You don't, need to have an hour of focus time. This can just be helpful to just like silence everything on your computer without closing your laptop, and really just take some time back for yourself.
Yeah, focus is really interesting. I remember doing a poll on Twitter a while back about like, do you use music to help you focus while you work? And there was a very clear crowd of people who were like, I need pure silence if I'm going to focus. And then another crowd of like, I'll listen to the exact same song on loop for like a day. Um, for me in 2021, that was Stacy's Mom. I listened to it for 28 hours in a row. But but yeah, like just sort of like a white noise in the background helps them cut away all the other things that they might be
Definitely.
thinking of.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, and not, I mean, makes my job a little more difficult, but with focus, it's like everyone has their own, little individual things that help them in that time. And so we've really tried to meet a lot of different needs and give flexibility. So excited to hear some feedback about what people's preferences are.
Yeah, no, if people could comment in the chat, like what helps you focus, like if you've tried the new focus features or just generally when you're working on your PC, like what helps you get down to work.
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, Also always curious, like who prefers a timer on their screen, and who just that stresses them out. They don't want to see it. Uh,
Noted.
Do you have any specific questions, Brandon or Jennifer or Jason, that you're able to see in the chat that you want Alexis to answer?
Yeah, I did. I saw, well, I saw one comment that is Jason is currently in focus mode.
Heads down.
But I did, someone did ask if there was a keyboard shortcut for turning on and off Do Not Disturb. I don't think there is, but Alexis, if you happen to know.
there's not right now. Adam, correct me
Sounds
if
like
I'm wrong.
someone should go file it in the feedback hub.
Yeah,
Right to the feedback center.
definitely.
We've had discussions, about that integration, but I don't think it's working in there yet. It's still coming to have those
I think,
integrations across.
but the notifications from your phone
Yes,
would still apply to Do Not Disturb,
that's correct.
right?
That's right. Yeah, all notifications that come onto the PC would be, disabled. Sorry. Jason's asking another question. Somebody has some feedback on the Do Not Disturb banner in the notification center because they feel like it blends in closely with the notification center because the feedback. That's really hard to read the question right as Jason's saying it, so there's not too much dead time. Alexis, what do you think? Do you have some you have a response to that?
Sorry, I was scrolling the chat. I was distracting myself.
So if you look in the notification center when Do Not Disturb is on, there's some feedback that the way that banner that it's on, it can be misinterpreted as a notification itself.
Interesting. Yeah, I would be curious if we continue to get that feedback. I know it does take up a bit of real estate in that space. And I wonder, so the purpose of why we did this is just to really make sure people know when Do Not Disturb is on, because we did hear like so much that fear of missing notifications. But yeah, I'll be curious if others have this feedback.
There's also a suggestion asking for focus as a widget in the widgets board, for something for the team to consider.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. There are some widgets for to do and other things inside the widget space, and so it is a good suggestion to consider trying to bring those things together in a more integrated way. Absolutely, love that suggestion.
And there's another comment. It'd be great if there was more integration with the focus time from Outlook, which they use to block time for focus, and if the team has considered doing anything like that in the future.
Yeah, that's also really great feedback. We unfortunately don't have anything to announce about any integration, but it's something that I'm glad to hear that people are interested in asking about it. We know that people who focus have better work-life balance, and we know that really helping them focus across all their experiences is important. So it is something we care about. We just don't have anything to announce right now about that integration.
Yeah. I remember, when the Clock app first introduced focus sessions last year, one of the first pieces of feedback we got was like, oh, the Clock app has this cool focus sessions features. You should integrate that with like the Windows ability to help with focus, and that's what you've done. So,
Yep.
I
This
guess
is a
it's
step
a
in the
similar
direction.
theme. Like, we do listen to feedback. Like, you can't build Rome in a day, but we are continually improving stuff based on the comments that insiders and all users are giving us. So, yeah, I'm excited for this for more to continue improving in this space.
Yeah, let's do live captions. Sure. I will share my screen, and I'm going to be brave today, and I'm going to try and do a live demo. I'm an insider's bill.
And no one can hear what Jason just said. So Jason said, FYI, I've replaced my face with a cartoon, so you're not staring into the void. Those are his exact words, verbatim. And Adam's he asked Adam to start with a live demo of live captions. Actually, Adam, I don't know if you saw, one of the insiders gave a shout out to live captions in the chat and said they were using live captions for this whole webcast.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So maybe they should be doing the demo. Maybe next time. I'm not closely following the chat, so thanks for passing that up. So live captions is designed for customers who are deaf or hard of hearing, and it allows them to access the audio content because they can read a transcription of the spoken words in an audio stream. And this started actually as a hack project here at Microsoft that some employees who are deaf sort of started this initiative and got off the ground and grew into what it is today. So I'm excited to be able to share what the team has been working on, and I'm going to try and share my screen, and we'll do a live demo here. So of course, captions are available in some videos, but not in all situations and not at all times. And so people who are deaf or hard of hearing really needed a tool that they could rely on, that could be available regardless of their circumstance, regardless of whether the website chose to provide captions or not. So we built captions right into Windows, right into the audio system in Windows, so that it captions all the audio on the device, regardless of the source. And we built it in a way, sort of, I guess, to talk about how we build accessibility features for those who don't know. We did it in consultation with customers who are deaf and hard of hearing. We talk to these folks. But then we sort of, after we talk to those folks, we sort of have a strategy of then to extend to many other people. And captions can be useful for anyone, right? Who's maybe they're in a noisy place and so they want additional audio support. Maybe you're like me and sometimes you're working late at night and you don't want others to be disrupted. So it's a quiet place. And so then I want captions. Some people just prefer captions as a way to support their comprehension. So it's useful for anyone, and it's easy to find. So let me minimize this. You can find it inside quick settings in the accessibilities. There's live captions right here. And once this turns on, you'll see that there's a top bar at the top. And of course, this top bar, as I just showed, it's a separate piece of UI. So it sort of constrains the space. So it's always visible, which is one of the problems that really popped for customers who are deaf or hard of hearing. They couldn't multitask, right? Because if the captions were in the video and they wanted to go to another screen, they sort of lost the thread of the conversation. So we, based on that feedback, we positioned it in its own window. It starts in a default position on top because that's close to the camera. And from our research, that's useful for people to be able to have equitable eye contact in meetings. So what I'm going to do here is I picked a random podcast here. This podcast, like many other podcasts, wouldn't have captions, but you can see that the words will appear.
The people who can work from home are more likely to be white and more likely to be in the top half of the income distribution and more likely to have employer-provided health insurance, which is something you really need when there's a pandemic raging.
So I'll just pause there. So this is, I didn't choose this podcast ahead of time. This is not like canned audio. This is live demo. This is speech recognition running on my Windows 11 device. The audio staying locally here on the machine and being processed with state-of-the-art AI from our partners in Azure. And so these captions are very high quality. They are very quick to appear, and we're really proud of the work. And so maybe just to demonstrate a few other things, you can control the position, right? Captions could go on the bottom if that's your preference for watching a movie, or you could also choose to position them anywhere you would like and resize to your heart's content. There's also other sort of standard processes for, there's settings where you can control the look and feel of these captions, but this is useful, to be able to put next to a face, right? If this was a video. And then maybe one last feature I will demonstrate here is, say you were in an in-person meeting and you were deaf or hard of hearing, maybe people had masks on, right? And you can't read lips, right? So we heard that feedback, and so we built a way to include microphone audio directly into the caption stream. So that this is now capturing my audio as part of the audio, and we'll be able to caption it directly. And so this is useful for those in-person meetings and those in-person conversations where you might need additional support to maybe you're a language learner and you just want to have a little extra understanding and be able to read. There is a keyboard shortcut for live captions and Windows Control L, I think. So I can try that as my last thing to turn it off. And there we go. All right, so I could stop sharing my screen. That was a quick demo of live captions, but we would love to get feedback on the feature. Because it's running on the device, we'd love to have it be tried on all your machines. Give us feedback where it's working great. Let us know areas where it can improve. And that's sort of live captions in a minute.
I believe it is currently only supported for EN English.
That's correct. Right now, it's only English United States because it's some new speech technology. We're starting again sort of with our language rollout, but English is the first language that we support, and that's what we'll
can anyone use it in English, or do you have to have your display language set to?
Anyone can use it. Anyone can use this. If you, we're doing work right now to do a little more language detection. So if you try and caption audio outside of English, it's not going to show anything interesting or do any, or maybe even anything at all. But for English audio, it will. Everyone has access to be able to have those captions.
Someone also asked, is the live captions model on the PC for offline scenarios? And I think it is.
Yes, it's on the PC, so it works offline, doesn't require an internet connection.
I think you already sort of touched on this, but like there was a comment about the is live captions only for the deaf? And I think live captions are useful in a lot of different scenarios. I personally, every single video I watch, if I can watch it with captions, I have captions on. I've got 50% hearing loss in my left ear, and I just don't like turning up the volume to listen to stuff. In addition, you know, I I often just have what am I trying to say? Yeah, if you're trying to work late at night and you don't want other people to hear the audio, like having the live captions is really useful. So, not
Yeah, that's great. One in 8 people reports hearing loss. It's fairly common. But no, it's not just for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. It's for anyone, right, who wants an additional comprehension support. And some of that's just preference. I happen to be in a house with some noisy kids, so we also have captions on all the time, but it's just because I can never hear the TV over the squirming and wrangling, right? And so it is something that I use all the time in my household. So Jason just asked me, how well does it handle folks with accents, slang words, or just how they speak? Microsoft does go through a practice of ethical AI. We specifically test models on different communities, and we try to make sure there's equitable treatment for people who are using our AI features. It's something we're very intentional about. That said, please try it, right? And give us the feedback about your experiences with your accents, and let us know whether you feel like it's responding to you differently than your peers. That's something we definitely want to know about, and we want to take steps to make better. This is a new technology, and so it's sort of first generation here, so I'm sure we may find some issues as we go along. That would not be surprising to me, but it is something we think about and we do plan for.
I think to file feedback, it's you open the feedback hub and it's accessibility and then live captions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine you're going to say if you are having a specific issue with like a piece of speech that's not recognized correctly, either being able to like submit the piece along with the feedback or take a trace of it not recognizing it is very helpful in terms of further investigating it, because we can't always replicate the issue on our side unless we have the string to work the audio to work with.
Yep. File those traces when you submit feedback, and let us know the specific things. If you see like consistent recognition errors, definitely let us know those problems. But also, give us more qualitative feedback. I tried using it, and for me, I like it or I don't like it, and like just that high level qualitative feedback is also really helpful because it can help us direct our attention into the areas where we need to do more work.
And I know the feedback hub doesn't really have, with the feedback hub, you can only do suggestions or problems. You can't really just do, it works great. So if you do want to add those sorts of comments, any of the insiders who are on Twitter, you're always welcome to just tag Windows Insider on your comments there. Or like, we always love it when you share like little demo videos or whatever of you using the new features in the dev channel. We share them with our whole team, and we really appreciate it.
As soon as we can, I think is the right answer. We want.
You didn't repeat the question.
Oh, sorry. Jason's asked me, when are we going to add more languages? And I got excited about the answer, which is as soon as we can, right? As soon as we can add more languages, we will. We don't have a particular timetable that we can announce right now, but we're actively working on it, and we will. It's sort of the top area of feedback already that's come, right? Is, oh, I want that in my language. Oh, I want it. And so we're trying to we're still finalizing the current experience in English, but once that tests well, right, then we will be able to move on to other languages soon thereafter. Yeah, so Jason's questions is about how it works with Facebook if you're having a chat. Then
Jason
he asked,
asked a paragraph-long question that the
but
audience
in a
didn't
nutshell,
hear.
is how does it work with video calls? I think is what he was asking in a nutshell, and he's just confirmed that. So yes, it will work with Teams because it's processing the audio on your system. It'll work with any application. It'll work with Facebook. It'll work with Discord. It'll work with Edge, Chrome, whatever. Right? It's about the audio in your system. And so one bit of feedback that we've heard that I will just pass along. If you're in a meeting with a lot of people, it can be challenging to know which speaker is saying which bit of caption. And so we have heard that feedback that just doing all the audio is for meetings. There's an opportunity to do a little bit more there in terms of identifying the speakers and separating them. So if you were in Teams and you could turn on Teams captions, that will actually give you like the breakdown of the speakers. And so there may be some reasons, right, to still use the caption tools inside of Teams or wherever. But the strong feedback that we got from our advisory board was people want the ability to choose the caption tool that works for their situation. And they love sort of having this fallback of something that will caption all audio in the system, no matter where it's coming from. It's a good question.
If this audio issue happens again, we really need some sort of sign that we can hold up to indicate Jason is talking.
Well, actually, let's do it. I will turn on captions.
Oh my
God. I
God.
will share my screen.
Why
and
haven't we been
everybody can watch
We're
Jason.
literally doing a webcast about live captions. You could have been doing this the whole time.
And
This
I will
is the
share
perfect
my
demo,
screen.
Jason.
And Jason will start talking.
Oh my God. I'm so for this.
Let's see if this.
Why didn't any of the insiders suggest this? Please.
All right. Take it away, Jason. Say hi to your friends. It's pretty disconcerting to see your words like appear in front of you. It can be hard to like read yourself as you're talking, but yep, there it was. That was 100% accuracy. All your words came through perfectly. So keep going. That's Jason again.
You should have put up like a OneNote page that showed this is Jason talking. But of course, this is now me talking.
This is now Jennifer talking. Yes.
But
I
every
could put
time,
it by his head.
I assume your microphone is not, the setting for your microphone is turned off. So that's why your audio doesn't come through.
Right. Yeah, that's not a sticky setting. We did that by design so that people always felt like they're in control of when their microphone's being captured.
This is so cool.
Jason.
Adam, I have feedback. It doesn't pick up my laughter.
It's true. We have heard that it wants to pick up laughter and clapping and some other interesting audio events. Yeah,
Ha ha
that's true.
ha. I
That-
actually I have well I said I watch all my stuff with live captions and subtitles on, and I always love, especially when they do the sound effects, captions for the sound effects. And I was watching some like fantasy TV show, and it was like ethereal slithering. And that made an impact on me. I'm gonna remember that forever. The sound of ethereal. Oh darn it. Well, it's fine. It's fine.
yeah, that's actually descriptive audio, and there's a captioning team for the video that goes and writes those little tags. Somebody decides that it's ethereal slithering, and
Well, it's
but
funny too. Sometimes I watch like, suspense or horror shows, and then like there's stuff in the captions that I just didn't pick up on at all. Or I'm like, oh, her name's Jessica. Like,
yeah, often you can learn the names of characters before they've been introduced and things like that. Yes. Funny. Yeah, it's definitely a feedback area that we're interested in investigating. And I don't know if people can still see my screen, but Jason's question was about identifying different speakers, because when there are multiple talkers, it does kind of run together. We have some different ideas that we sort of are exploring. The simplest one might be something like just adding coherent line breaks, right? Every time we detect a new speaker, just so there's like a separation. Then there are, more advanced ideas to maybe explore whether we could keep track of speakers and like use a font treatment, use a color, or use a positioning. Maybe one speaker's on the left side and others on the right, to keep track of the different speakers. And so it's definitely an area of science and investigation that we're working on. So it's great to see it coming up again. It's not possible to save transcripts right now, which was a question Jason asked. We've got that feedback as well. People get excited at the idea of being able to sort of have someone, a stenographer, taking notes in all their meetings. But there are a few challenges for doing that work. Actually, a live transcript like you're seeing today is a little bit different than what we would expect in like a formal transcription. So there's both some science challenges in terms of like really meeting the value. But yes, keep that feedback coming, or if you find it in the feedback hub, upvote it, right? In terms of being able to make this canvas more interactive and smarter, and let you be able to do more with it.
I have a question.
Sure.
My own question. What does it do with swear words? Does it bleep them out?
No, not by default, but you can turn it on. You can turn on a profanity filter if that's something that's important to you. People who are deaf or hard of hearing, they do not want to have the swear words filtered out by default. They feel like it is, I don't know.
No, I mean,
it's exclusionary. I guess they feel like it's exclusionary. But there are situations where you might want to turn on profanity filtering because you were presenting, and you didn't want the risk of a misrecognition embarrassing you or something like that. And so we do have that option, and people who want to turn on the profanity filter can. Sure.
Does that mean we have to start swearing at the screen? Keep it G-rated.
Keep it G-rated. So filtering profanity. then if a swear word were to come up, it would just show up with asterisks, right? It would just be sort of blocked out.
I love that you've just kept this running, and so people can actually see all the things Jason has been telling us that they didn't know about.
Yep, it's how I make sure I understand what Jason wants me to do. So I kept it running. Yep. And it. All right. Any other questions on live captions?
I saw one comment which was it wasn't really a question. They just said when the program corrects itself after a few words, it can be a little bit distracting. He was wondering if they could leave the original correction on screen might be better than switching it out. I guess it's more feedback after the question.
Yeah, that's a really interesting and detailed observation somebody has made there. So the way these speech systems work is they often provide like an early suggestion, and that's important so that people have the sense that it feels alive. That's actually hearing the things I'm saying. It's actually responding to me. Um, but there's kind of like a second pass, for lack of a better word, of recognition that takes place. And when that second pass happens, it sometimes understands what was said. And so I think it's pretty important for us to try to be accurate and let somebody who can't hear the audio to know that there was an initial mismatch, to know actually there was a change. But it is good feedback that the treatment of showing those sort of transient responses might be distracting. And so that could be something we look at. Sort of there's some trade-off there. Like, is it feeling alive and responding to me immediately, or would it be better to wait until we have higher confidence in what's going on? That's a little AI sausage making. Maybe that's interesting to folks, but it's a fairly nuanced and challenging question.
It does look like we only have a few minutes left, and Jason is still a static image. So I guess I'd quickly ask if there are any further questions, please put them in the chat. Both either about live captions, focus, do not disturb, all that work. And even if we can't get to them in the span of this meeting, we will review them after the fact. And Mhm. Yep. Oh,
Yep,
right.
the words are showing up maybe. I don't know what they can see anymore. All right. Well, maybe I'll just, if there's no other questions, I can just wrap with sort of a general comment.
Yeah, go for it.
So I guess what I want to say is this accessibility work at Microsoft is really important to us. It matters that people feel included. It matters that we build tools so that everybody can be more productive on Windows. We're like putting Microsoft's mission into practice, that everyone achieves more, right? And that's it's really important to how we think about things. Unfortunately, those disability communities aren't well represented in insiders populations typically, because for these folks, when their tools change, all the time, that can be really hard. There are some, right? We have some great advocates who try our stuff, but the insiders community can really help us by trying out these accessibility features and by taking time to find bugs, because there's some risk they might not come up during your regular usage. And so time you spend here is super appreciated, and is a way that you can really impact the world for good by helping Microsoft make these products better for everyone. And they're inclusively designed, and they have some fun to them too. So hopefully you enjoy using them. I'll just end there. Thank you all.
Um,
It's I never took it away. I'm still sharing. So I think you're in.
Jason wants his captions. Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. This was a fun way to make the most of some audio challenges. So thanks for rolling with it, everyone. It's been fun to be with y'all. We'll come
Jason,
again
it's
sometime.
almost like you did it on purpose. We didn't talk about the bug bash. We're the worst. Yeah. But this has been awesome. Oh, sure. Yep. Yeah, so today is the last day of the bug bash. We do bug bashes. I mean, we've been doing them for years. It's just basically a time when we try and create quests for like all the new features that have been lighting up in the dev channel, really try and iron out how things go with how things are going with them, maybe give people the opportunity to learn about them if they haven't already, and try to file actionable feedback about the issues or suggestions you have. Um, one reminder is always like, please, when you're filing feedback, only include one feedback item. Like, don't include a bunch of bugs or a bunch of suggestions all in the same piece of feedback. We do track them individually, so if possible, file the pieces of feedback individually. But yeah, but Alexis, did you have any parting comments that you wanted to share? That's my bit. File feedback. We review it all the time.
Yeah, no, just echoing Adam and Jason. Really appreciate talking to customers always and seeing feedback for our team's features. Obviously, love Captions, focus, like really passionate about all this stuff. So it's been really awesome.
Who's going to wrap us? Brandon, wrap us up.
Brandon, you're still muted.
You're still muted.
He's gesturing. Brandon, you know, you're muted for us as well as for the insiders, but I can detect that your French has improved immensely.
You want me to unmute you? No, he can't unmute himself. Whatever.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Okay. Jen, wrap us.
Jason, I will wrap it up. This has been an awesome time. It's been great reading all your comments. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have suggestions for future sessions, you're always welcome to pass those along to us on Twitter. And I don't know, I hope you all have an awesome day. This has been really fun. And thank you so much, Adam and Alexis, for coming in, demoing your work with us. And that's all I got.
Thank you. It's great to have been with you all. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
I'll file a bug. Thanks.